Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to be doing two looks with the brand new Dior QUINT. There were two QUINTs just released in the Dior Summer collection. I've got both. The one with the blue in it is Eden ROC and the other one is Rèphr. Now today I'm going to be trying on Eden ROC. I was going to do a video with both of the QUINTs, trying on both of them, but I don't think my eyelids could really take that. So instead today, I'm going to be trying on Eden ROC, the one with the really beautiful blue shade in it, but I will swatch the other QUINT as well, the Rèphr one. So all of the Dior Summer collection is now available, I'm pretty sure, on the Dior US website. I'm just going to put a picture up here. There's also two bronzers in this collection. The bronzers, I believe, are the same, but they just have different packaging. I do think the packaging looks really lovely. There's also two highlighters, and I'm pretty sure they are slightly different than what's been previously released. There's also three Dior lip maximizers. I think all three shades look really lovely, but I've bought quite a few of them, so I don't think I'll pick any of those up. There's also a satin lipstick, and there's also a lip tint as well. Now, one thing that I do want to get from this collection when it does release here in New Zealand, when I can get it in New Zealand, are the nail polishes. I think that they look really beautiful. I'm probably going to get all four of them, especially the blue. I think the blue looks really, really gorgeous. And I'm pretty sure that it's named the same as the QUINT that I'm going to try on today. So as I was saying, I am going to do two looks using the QUINT Eden ROC. I will show them both to you now. Both of these QUINTs are made in France. They have a shelf life, which is typical of the Dior QUINTs, from 6 months of date of opening, but they last a lot longer than that. And they also have 7 grams of product, and they do come with the two brushes here. So I'm going to show both of them to you. I'm just going to take out the brushes. So here is Eden ROC, and this one is really beautiful. I have tried on both of these QUINTs. This is the QUINT that I do prefer, but I will do a separate video with the other one, Rèphr. So this is the other one, Rèphr. I'll hold them up closer for you in a minute so you can take a look. And both of these QUINTs are limited edition. These are created by Peter Phillips, creative and image director for Dior Makeup. The eyeshadows in the collection capture the unique sun-kissed tones of summer at the Hotel de Cap Eden ROC. The eyeshadows offer a harmonious and couture composition centered on azure blue and a luminous orange, the key colors from each palette. They say that they are creamy and comfortable on the eyelid. The powdered texture does not migrate. The instant and long-lasting colour intensity of each eyeshadow ensures a high colour look. And then they go on to say that the formula does not crease on the eyelid. So in both of these QUINTs, Rèphr and the other one that I'm going to try on today, none of them have a matte shade. And I didn't find it so much with the Eden ROC one, but with this one, I found that it emphasised the texture on my eyes a little bit. It's not awful, but for some reason that doesn't happen with the Eden ROC QUINT the same, probably because there's deeper tones in there and you get a bit of difference to the shades when you put them on your eye. So now I'm just going to turn the light down in front of me and I'll hold each QUINT up so you can take a closer look. So this is number 533 Rèphr, and Dior describe it as it has a luminous orange, satiny nude tones, and a sun-drenched white. And even though that they say that it is orange, this shade here is really more of an apricot peachy tone. And this is number 233. This is Eden ROC, and Dior described this as a glittery azure blue, pearly bronze shades, and a luminous ivory. So about 4 of the tones do look quite similar in each QUINT. In this QUINT here, I would say the shades are just slightly a bit deeper, especially the shade here and the one in the middle. And here they are both side by side. The embossing on both of the QUINTs is really lovely. And they have the embossing that says Christian Dior and also the embossing of a life preserver on it. So what I'm going to do is swatch both of these quints on my arm so you can take a look. When it comes to the one that I'm trying on today, Eden Rock, I have got about 4 or 5 other palettes that I've pulled out just to compare the blues. I don't have the new Guerlain, the Summer Jean palette to compare it with, but I have pulled out ones where I think that you may have in your collection. So first of all, I'm going to swatch on my arm Rèphr, and I'm going from left to right, top to bottom, and I'll do the centre shade last. So starting with Rèphr, we've got a white cream, it's a satin. Then we have a gold, it's a golden yellow. And next is a shade that Dior describe as orange, but it's probably more of an apricot colour. And next is a brown shade, and the middle shade is, it's a neutral type of brown, and that is a satin. These are all satin shades. And with the Eden Rock Quint, these are all satin shades as well. And this one here is slightly deeper than the one in Rèphr, so they do swatch slightly different. And this is an ivory shade, and when I've swatched it, it might have just been the way I swatched it, it doesn't appear as opaque as the one in Rèphr. And this is satin as well. This is the beautiful blue. It has a little bit of grey in it. I think it's a really lovely shade. And then we have, it's a brown, has a little bit of bronze in it as well. And then this shade, the last one, is, once it's swatched, you can see it is a bit deeper than the one in Rèphr as well. And it has a slight amount of bronze in it too. So I've just wiped all those swatches off. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to concentrate on this blue shade here. And I'll swatch this again on my arm. These do feel really smooth when I swatch them. So I'll start off with the new Dior Quint shade. And then I pulled out a Dior single one. And this is number 240. This is denim. This is, it's more of a denim type, sort of a sky blue shade really. So it's quite different. And then I've got another Dior Quint, and this is the one Blue Velvet, number 189. And this has a few different shades in it, but I'm going to swatch this one. Well, I might swatch both of these shades just for comparison. So we'll do the lighter of the blue from the Quint first. So that's the lighter of the blue. And here is the darker shade in the Blue Velvet Quint. And next I've got 279, and this is the denim Quint, and I'm just going to swatch this shade here. And I've actually got 3 more eyeshadow palettes as well, and these aren't Dior ones, but you may have these in your collection. I've pulled out a Lancome one, and this one is Drama Denim. And from this palette, I'm just going to swatch the shade here. And I'll put that one down here. And next is the Chantecaille Quad. This is the Jaguar one. And I'm just going to swatch this blue here. And I did a video using this one not too long ago with one of my everyday makeup videos. So that one is Chantecaille Jaguar. And then finally I've pulled out the Clé de Peau one. So I'm going to swatch these 2 shades. I will do this shade first. And then I'll just swatch the deeper shade in that Clé de Peau eyeshadow palette. And this is the deepest shade. I think the closest, and it's not exactly the same, but probably the closest to the new Dior QUINT one, which is this one, Eden Rock, would probably be this one, and that's from the Dior Blue Velvet. And then the next closest would probably be this one, and that's from the Denim, although this has a lot more depth to it, the shade. And the other one that's probably towards the closest of the shade would be this one, and that's from the Clé de Peau palette. That's the deeper of the two blues. So as I said at the beginning of the video, I am going to do 2 looks using this QUINT. So first of all, I'm going to take the Sonia G, this is the Classic Crease, and I'm going to start off with the shade here. I'm going to use for the first look, I may even do it with the second look, but for the first look I am going to use all the shades. So when I put the brush into the shadows, it's the same with the other QUINT as well. There is a little bit of kick up in the pan. Then I'm going to take the Rèphr number 14 and I'm going to deepen up the crease a bit. So I'm just going to lean in so you can take a look. So compared to other Dior QUINTs that I have, and because there's no mattes in here, it does emphasize my texture a little bit, but with this QUINT, once I've got all the different shadows on, I don't find it's as bad as the other one, probably because the other one, Rouge, just has all lighter shades. They do tend to all mix together a little bit as well, and that's probably why I think my texture looks more emphasized with the other QUINT, even though they're both the same formula. So the Rèphr 14, and I'm going to go into this deeper shade, and here's quite a bit of pigment. I'm just going to run this through the crease and just deepen it up, and there's quite a bit on the brush, so I'm just going to pop some on the other eye just to get rid of some. I can always add some more there in a minute. So I'm just going to run that through the crease and just take it slightly above as well. These do blend really beautifully. And then I'm just going into the shade very lightly, just going to add a little bit more just to even things up. Then we'll take the Sonia G, the soft definer, and stay with the shade, and I'm going to run a little bit of this just under my lower lash line. Now I've just wiped down the Rèphr 14, and now we'll go into this blue shade, and I'm going to put this on the outer corner and through the crease, and I'm going to take it above as well. I think this is a really beautiful shade. I'm just going to go in and just grab a little bit more, and then I'm just going to go over the top and just blend it out a little bit just to soften those edges. Then we'll take the Rèphr number 3 and go into this blue shade, and I'm going to put some of this under my lower lash line. Then we'll take the Chukahado, this is the F06, and go into the shade, and I'm just going to put this over the rest of my lid through here, and I'm going to take it up through here as well. And then I've just wiped down my Rèphr number 3, and with this shade here, I'm going to run a little bit of this under my lower lash line as well, just through here. And then with the lighter shade in the palette, if you want to, you could put this on your brow bone. Because of the formula, and I sort of think it's probably going to emphasize the texture on my brow bone a bit too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Sonia G, the pencil one, and I'm going to use this to just as a bit of a highlight in the very inner corner. Then I'm going to take the Sonia G, the flat definer, with the shade, and I'm going to put a little bit through here, but I'm just going to keep it just in here, just to give a little bit of lightness through here. And for the second look, I will use an eyeliner, but since I have to wash this off, what I'm going to do is with this shade here, I'm going to use this just to give a little bit of definition to my upper lash line. It should be deep enough for that. So here is look number 1. And I think this is a really lovely colour story, but then I love blues. This has a grey in it, this blue as well, and I think it's really, really beautiful. These eyeshadows, they do blend really beautifully, but as I was saying, they are all satin shades and there isn't a matte in there. I do wish there were 1 or 2 mattes in there, but in saying that, I do love this QUINT. I think it is really, really beautiful. And although I really got the QUINT just for the blue shade, it is one where you don't have to wear all the colours. I think all these 3 would go beautiful together, or these 3 up here would look lovely, and these as well. So you could just go for a very neutral look here with a little bit of lightness, or pop in the shade as well and use these 3 across here. So I do think that it is really, really versatile, but I really like this blue shade. I think it looks really, really beautiful. So now I'm just going to wash this off and then I'll be back and do look number 2. I did forget to mention at the beginning of the video that my primer, foundation, powder over the top and bronzer, they are all Dior products, but everything that I'm putting on my face today I will have listed and linked in the description box below. So now let's get on with eye look number 2. For this one I won't talk while I'm putting it on. When I'm editing this video I will put some music to it. I'm predominantly going to use the blue shade, and I will use an eyeliner instead of the blue eyeshadow.
The river flows one direction, and fishes they follow the flow. But what if one tried to mention that there was much more to explore? Here I am, I have a plan, I'm living free, don't know where I'll land. Here I am, I have a plan, I'm living free, don't know where I'll land. A dragonfly heard the message. Darkness was home for the star. It spread its wings to the surface. The bright colors set them apart. Here I am, I have a plan, I'm living free, don't know where I'll land. Here I am, I have a plan, I'm living free, don't know where I'll land. Here I am, I have a plan, I'm living free, don't know where I'll land. Here I am, I have a plan, I'm living free, don't know where I'll land. Here I am.
And for blush, I'm going to put on the one that was released earlier this year, and I did a dedicated video on that. This is 468 Lupine, and I think this is really beautiful. So I'm just taking my Eyeshadow brush and sweep all that over. I mentioned it in the video that I did it. This does have shimmer in it, but I don't find it chunky at all. I think it's a really, really beautiful blush. And for lipstick, I'm going to use the Dior. This is the Lip Glow, and this is in shade 1947 in Miss Dior. So out of the two eye looks that I did, I prefer this one. This is the one that I did when I first got this QUINT. I've only used it once before today, and this is the eye look that I did. And I thought it was really lovely then. So when I used all 5 shades together, that was the first time doing that today in this video. And I don't know whether I like them all together. I think it's because of the formula and that they're all satin. So what you end up doing is building satin upon satin, and that's when texture can start to be emphasized. Whereas how I did it just now, and if I close my eyes so you can have a look, I don't think the texture is as emphasized. In fact, I don't think it's emphasized at all. So I think the trick with this palette, and probably the other one as well, is just to be really careful about layering all the shades, because as I was saying, I think that's when the texture starts to become emphasized. But like this, I think it is absolutely beautiful, and I love this blue. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. So I will be doing another video soon using the other QUINT Rèphr. Now, as I said at the beginning of this video, when I used that QUINT, I didn't really like it. I thought it emphasized my texture. But now I'm thinking I'll probably use it using all the 5 shades, and I'll do 2 different eye looks like I did today. And the first one I'll use all the shades to show you. And then the second one I might do what I did with this QUINT and just not layer the shades as much, and maybe get a much prettier look out of it. So I think that this QUINT is really lovely, and in particular the blue shade, it's absolutely gorgeous. I loved it putting this lighter shade on using my finger just over the top through here. I think it went on better using my finger than it did with my brush, the Chukahodo one. For some reason, I just think it went on better and gave just more of a really soft lightness through here. I think that worked really, really well. I think that the Dior Lupine blush goes beautifully with this color story, and I also think that the 1947 Miss Dior is a great shade with the whole look as well. So that's it for today's video. I'd love it if you gave it a like and subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye.